Good morning and thank you for watching News 12 Connecticut. I'm Melissa Sheketoff.
New information has been released in the officer-involved shooting in Stamford that medical officials ruled a suicide. In the race for the White House, Democratic voters in Wyoming will caucus today. 14 delegates are up for grabs between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders. Police in Colorado say a former Stamford man is facing murder charges in a shooting rampage that left one man dead and two others hospitalized. Police say 46-year-old Kevin Lee Lyons, you see right there, opened fire on his wife and another woman before killing a doctor who came to their aid in suburban Denver on Monday.
In a News 12 Connecticut update, the Stamford man accused of killing his mother is reportedly competent to stand trial for murder. As you reported, police say Timothy Anderson beat his 76-year-old mother, Marianne Anderson, after she confronted him about not taking his medication.
Easton Volunteer Fire Department is now hosting an open house in honor of the National Volunteer Week. Fire officials say you can check out their gear, take a tour, and learn what it's like to be a firefighter. A group of students in Fairfield are getting ready this morning to test their skills at the word game Scrabble.
They've been learning words that most people say these are not words. Words like A-A-L-I-I or T-A-E-N-I-A-E. Other different words that come over and over again but help you win Scrabble.
I don't even know if I recognize all those words. We're told more than 170 students from across the country will compete at the event at Gillette Stadium outside Boston. I like the one who's buying a candle for his mom. I feel like my mom would kill me if I said that.
It goes from stereo to candle.
Right. It's like, who are you jipping? You or your mom? I don't know. It wouldn't work in our house, that's for sure.
That's right.
Stamford Academy is located here on North Street, and police cleared the scene from here just before 2 o'clock, but they tell us almost 40 officers had to respond to the school when they say an unidentified caller told the school that there was a bomb on the inside. And police tell us with this private school, there are about 90 students inside. They say every student was sent home early, and they say all faculty members also were evacuated from the school. We saw bomb squads were parked over here, brought dogs in to make sure that that threat was taken care of, and it was in fact a hoax according to the chief. They tell us though that this is the second bomb threat to happen here in Stamford within 2 days, and they said they're already sick of having these calls happen, and they want to make sure this doesn't happen again.
You can see police and state police all investigating the scene that happened earlier this morning. They say just after 6 o'clock, police did confirm that the father that is living in this home with his wife and 3 kids attacked all 4 members of the family. We're still waiting to hear the conditions of all 4 members. In the meantime, police and officer came to the scene, tried to speak to the father, but he would not listen, and they said that the officer did fire a shot and it killed him. We'll have more on this scene and hear from police in later editions of our newscast. Unfortunately, this means we can't go any closer than right here, which is the fence that's surrounding the entire Penfield Pavilion area, the parking lot, and the building. You can see this fence goes all the way around the entire property, and construction workers tell us that's because they're surveying the property to make sure they're ready for demolition to finally start. This has been a long time in the making. We've spoken to residents as well as town officials who say that alike they just can't wait for this to finally be a dream that becomes a reality. They sat on the phones for hours just making sure they called every registered Democrat in the city of Bridgeport, and get this, believe it or not, this is only a little of the stack of names that they said. They called thousands of people. His favorite attire included Hawaiian shirts and bow ties. We're standing in front of the southbound side of the train station, but if you take a walk with me here, this is where the mayor says he wants the proposed plan to be. In this area here, it's 2.2 acres of land.
I'm told you're in Stamford now, Melissa. How's it looking?
Kylie and Caitlin, we're actually having a debate in the car. We're trying to decide which one is safer, to just walk on the sidewalks or be in the car. So, I mean, I'll let you make the decision on that, because just sitting here in the car, it's very clear. The roads are totally covered, and it really has gotten worse and worse as the morning has gone on. We've actually only been parked out here for about a half hour now, and as you can see, our car is already accumulating a lot of snow. Just on the car itself, it's really sticking very quickly. It looks like here probably about 1.5 to 2 inches of snow that's accumulating here. However, if I were to walk just a couple of feet to the other side of this barrier where the wind has been picking up, we're talking, my feet are gone now. I mean, they're under the snow completely. I think I'm going to take his advice and do just that. So for now in Milford, Melissa Sheketoff, Mobile 12.
Ever wondered how some of those power companies check to see that their lines are all safe and up to code? Well, we found out today. You see, we're sitting here in one of the helicopters that Eversource uses to make sure that every vegetation that could be crossing any of their lines is taken care of, and they make sure they do this twice a year. So I took the co-pilot seat, decided to take direction and see what exactly are the red flags that they're looking for.
This decorated home has been going on for 30 years, and it might have started here with my friend Santa and a few lights, but look how much it has grown. 58,000 lights cover from the bottom to the top and all around this entire home, and it's no wonder people come from all over just to check it out. It's one of the busiest shopping days of the year, and it'll be happening right here in Hobbytown, USA. Things like puppets, toys, puzzles, and games all flying off the shelves in one of the most iconic toy stores in our area. I know what you're thinking. No, I'm not skipping work today. This is my job, and that's because it's gorgeous out today. And it turns out that this is the first day that both courses here at Fairchild Wheeler are open to the public. And we have a lot of golfers here, some that don't even want to go on camera because both their wives or their workplaces don't know they're even playing hooky. Luckily for me, I get to be out here just to tell you the story. So tune in later today to find out what everyone has been doing on the golf course today. For now, here in Fairfield, Melissa Sheketoff, News 12 Connecticut.
You never really think these things are going to affect you.
But as we all know, it did. And during the destruction, many people snapped photos that 3 years later are still worth 1,000 words.
Those things are etched in your mind.
Like this massive tree that fell across a busy street in Stamford.
But I think it was 2 trees on top of one another. Are we going to lose power and we're trapped? Could have been 60 to 100 years old. It was a huge tree.
And only a couple towns away,
It was 150 years old, though, because we remember from counting the rings.
a Wilton family waking up to find they too were trapped.
And the stump came out of this hole here, across the driveway, hit my neighbor's mailbox.
For 8 days, the family says they were among thousands without power and remembering the oak tree that once was in their yard.
It was almost hard to remember that. 3 years ago.
But it wasn't just homeowners left in the dark. Others found themselves underwater.
So this is our high water mark from Sandy.
Workers at All Seasons Marina in Westport remember finding the lot they share with the Black Duck completely flooded. But rather than dwelling on the terror in those moments captured on camera, many say they're simply feeling grateful.
I feel really lucky that there wasn't, more damage. There could have been so much more.
These are some of the power lines Eversource owns and has to get checked twice a year to make sure there's no vegetation encroaching on them. Sounds pretty simple? Well, not quite. You see, in order for Eversource to do that, they need to hit the runway.
Yeah, wind's out of the south-southwest.
We cover a lot of area. It's very efficient.
Once the chopper has been thoroughly checked,
Everything's in service, right?
and everyone has been briefed,
Keep all loose objects, toes, heads, fingers, all that stuff inside the aircraft.
it's time to get in place as part of the Eversource crew.
It's an interesting perspective.
We got a glimpse of that perspective
And American traffic helicopter.
once we took our feet off the ground.
How high up are we?
600 feet.
Eversource crews tell us checking from above makes the most sense.
Just a half a mile to the west. We'll be
They say the red flags they look for during flight are usually damaged trees crossing paths with their power lines.
looking clean, yep.
By ensuring that we're out there more often and seeing that we don't have problems, or if we do see problems, to address them in a timely manner, really preserves the reliability.
While it's not considered joyriding, Eversource says it's a fun part of their job that allows them to look at their line of work just a little differently.
It's a real treat, yeah.
The Eversource chopper is launching from here for the next 5 to 6 days until they complete the entire state of Connecticut. In Wallingford, Melissa Sheketoff, News 12 Connecticut.